The Forgotten Powers of the Human Spirit, Introduction, rewritten. There's a reason you've always felt different. A quiet sense that there's more to you, more than flesh, more than logic, more than the narrow version of reality you were taught to accept. You weren't mistaken, you were remembering. Deep within you lie dormant capacities that challenge everything you've been told is possible. Abilities once spoken of in whispers by ancient mystics. Teachings safeguarded for centuries within hidden schools of wisdom. Gifts the modern world has tried to ridicule, suppress, medicate, or rationalize away. Yet they remain. Not in a chosen few, not in distant legends. In you. This is not motivational hype. It is not imagination or illusion. It is a call to the part of you that already knows. The part that senses telepathy is not fantasy. That understands your body is a vehicle, not a cage. That suspects the mind holds influence far beyond what science currently admits. That feels the spirit is capable of traveling beyond ordinary perception and returning with insight. This is your inheritance, and you are here to reclaim it. For generations, humanity has been conditioned to trust only 5 senses as if they were limits rather than instruments. We were taught to dismiss intuition, to ignore dreams, to mock miracles. But something is shifting, the veil is thinning, and something within you is awakening. You've felt it. You've known what someone was about to say before they spoke. You've walked into a room and sensed the energy instantly change. You've understood things without being told. You've dreamed of places that felt more real than waking life. You weren't imagining it, you were remembering. This audiobook is not fiction, it is initiation through remembrance. It draws inspiration from ancient esoteric traditions, from the wisdom preserved in texts like The Secret Doctrine by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, and from teachings rooted in Egypt, India, and Tibet. Even the legend of Atlantis, not merely as myth, but as symbolic memory, echoes this forgotten knowledge. At the heart of this journey are 7 powers, 7 keys to unlocking the full spectrum of what it means to be human, or perhaps more than human, a being of light navigating physical form. Each chapter will reveal a hidden faculty encoded within your energetic body, woven into your soul's design, carried through your ancient lineage. These abilities are not new, they are not borrowed, they are yours. But understand this path is not about entertainment or collecting impressive abilities. True power demands responsibility. It requires awareness, discipline, and alignment. Power without consciousness leads to chaos. Power with presence transforms everything. Are you ready? Because once these truths resonate within you, they cannot be unheard. Once your mind reconnects with what your soul has always known, your life will not return to what it was before. You will see energy, feel vibrations, and navigate the unseen. You will stop asking if you're crazy and start asking why you waited so long to remember. You are not here by chance. You were drawn to these words by something deeper than algorithms. This message found you because your soul whispered, "It's time, time to unlock what has been locked, time to reawaken what was buried, time to remember who you truly are." So take a breath. Let your logical mind soften. Let your inner being step forward, because what you are about to hear is not a lesson, it is a calling to the deeper self, to the part of you that never forgot, to the soul that knows it came here for more. This is not a fantasy. This is the unveiling of the human being as the divine instrument it was always meant to be. Now let us begin the return. Your first power awaits. Chapter 1. Telepathy, the silent language of the soul. What if I told you that words are the weakest form of communication, that before your mouth forms a sentence, your mind has already spoken volumes? You felt it the moment you thought of someone just before they called, the unshakable feeling that a person across the room was watching you, the chill that ran through your spine when someone near you carried heavy thoughts without saying a word. This isn't coincidence. It isn't magic, it's telepathy, and it's one of your most ancient and natural abilities. Long before language, long before speech, humans communicated soul to soul, thought to thought. This is not theory, it's ancient memory. The Atlanteans, as Helena Petrovna Blavatsky wrote in The Secret Doctrine, spoke not with tongues but with minds. Their words were pure images, direct transmissions of meaning, untainted by deception or misinterpretation. And those who remembered this power, seers, mystics, yogis, prophets, could read the thoughts of others as easily as reading a book. You are no different. Telepathy is not reserved for the gifted or the chosen. It is a dormant sense waiting to be reawakened. Why hasn't it awakened in you yet? Because modern life has trained you to ignore it, to distract the mind, to fear silence, to clutter thought, and most of all, to believe that you are separate from others. But thought is not private, it is vibrational, and the field around you, the ether, the subtle web, records everything. You are always transmitting and always receiving. Imagine the mind like a tuning fork. When attuned, it can pick up even the softest frequencies, the faintest thoughts. But when filled with static, fear, overthinking, noise, it hears nothing. Telepathy doesn't need effort, it needs clarity. Let me give you a truth that will follow us through this entire audiobook. Power flows where purity grows. The clearer your mind becomes, the more it returns to its natural state, receptive, intuitive, telepathic. In the Theosophical system, the mental plane is the realm where thoughts are real objects. They float, connect, and influence. When you think of someone with intensity, you create a thought form that reaches them. If they are sensitive enough, or their heart is linked to yours, they'll feel it. This is not metaphor, it is energy in motion. Now here's what most don't understand. Telepathy is not only about reading thoughts. It is also about understanding emotions, intentions, and even soul states without needing words. Beneath every sentence is a frequency, and that frequency always tells the truth. Telepathy is the art of listening beyond words. So how do you awaken it? Not through force, not through strain, but through inner stillness. The first step is mental silence. Your mind must become like still water, reflective, receptive, undisturbed. Most people live in constant mental noise. Thoughts collide, loop, and shout. In such a storm, no signal can be received. But in stillness, you begin to feel, not with emotion, but with your energy body. You'll start sensing when someone near you is sad, even if they smile. You'll know when someone is thinking of you, even if they don't reach out. You'll begin to receive impressions, images, symbols, flashes, before anyone speaks. Let me be clear, this is not imagination, it is resonance. Telepathy lives in the space between minds, the shared field where your thoughts meet collective consciousness. And as you attune, you begin to hear more than language, you hear essence. In mystery schools, telepathy was trained through sacred exercises, eye-gazing to link souls without speaking, mental projection, where one would hold an image and another would describe what they saw, dream circles, where messages were sent between souls during sleep. We've lost these practices in the modern world, but you can reclaim them. Here is a simple activation to begin. Exercise the inner mirror. Each morning, sit in silence. Close your eyes and breathe. As your mind settles, visualize someone you love. Hold their image in your heart, not your head. Now, without words, send them a feeling, peace, love, strength, not with thought but with being, then let go. Notice what unfolds in the coming hours. Often, they'll call you, text you, or feel a shift without knowing why. You are not sending anything, you are aligning with their soul on the subtle plane, and the soul always hears what the ears cannot. As your awareness grows, you'll feel a new responsibility. You'll realize your thoughts affect others. You are not isolated. When you judge someone silently, they feel it. When you love someone silently, they feel that too. So train your mind to become a sanctuary. Let it be a temple of clear thought, noble intention, and pure frequency. This is not just the path of telepathy, it is the path of awakening. When we all remember this gift, the world will shift. Words will no longer divide. Silence will become sacred, and the soul will speak without needing to speak at all. You are not learning something new, you are remembering something ancient. And now that you've remembered, the other powers will come faster. Your mind is no longer a cage, it is a bridge to every soul you've ever loved and every truth you've ever known. Now take a breath, because your next power is about to awaken, and it will show you that seeing is no longer limited to the eyes. Chapter 2, Clairvoyance, Awakening the Eye of Vision. Close your eyes and see. Yes, see, not with flesh, but with light, not with form, but with essence. Because what the eyes show you is only the surface, but what the inner eye reveals is the soul of reality. You were born with 3 eyes, but only 2 have been allowed to see. The third, called the Ajna Chakra in Eastern traditions, the Eye of Horus in Egypt, and the lamp of the body in esoteric Christianity, has long been sealed. Not by nature, but by culture, by forgetfulness. But now it begins to open, and what you are about to remember will forever change the way you see the world. Clairvoyance, clear seeing, is not fortune-telling, not superstition, but a higher faculty of perception hidden behind the noise of the physical senses. There was a time when this gift was revered, when prophets, seers, and sages walked among rulers and kings, not as entertainers, but as advisors, because they saw the truth, not just what is, but what was and what wants to become. You've had glimpses, a dream that later came true, a vision in meditation, a flash of an image before something happened. You dismissed it as coincidence. You were trained to, but your soul knew better. Clairvoyance is not rare, it is repressed. It is the birthright of a being whose consciousness is no longer trapped in density. In the Seer of Prevorst, Justinus Kerner chronicled the visions of a woman who, though barely literate, could see the soul wounds of others, speak with the departed, and read spiritual energies across distances. She wasn't mad, she was open. Her inner eye had bloomed like a lotus, and the invisible became visible. So what is this third eye? Physically, it is associated with the pineal gland, a tiny organ deep in your brain, shaped like a pine cone and filled with photoreceptors. Ancient civilizations knew it was sacred. In Egypt, the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus encoded its anatomy in stone. In Hinduism, it was marked on the forehead with sacred ash or vermilion. Even in Christianity, Jesus Christ said, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." This is no metaphor, this is spiritual biology. But here's the truth they never told you. Your third eye isn't blind. It's simply covered by fear, distraction, toxins in the body, and in thought, disbelief. Yet beneath the veil, it still pulses like a cosmic receiver, waiting for the signal to return. When it begins to activate, you'll notice subtle shifts. You'll start seeing energy flicker around people. You'll sense colors that don't belong to objects. You'll close your eyes and see shapes, symbols, even faces. You'll dream vividly, prophetically. You'll wake with visions that feel more real than waking life. And no, you're not going crazy. You're delayering the illusion. Clairvoyance is not about escaping reality. It's about seeing through it. You'll begin to notice the energetic truth behind smiles, the hidden currents beneath people's words, the light fields that surround plants, animals, and even thoughts. You'll begin to read reality like a living book. But beware, this power demands purity, because your third eye is not just a lens, it is a mirror. What you see through it depends on what you carry inside. A fearful soul will see omens, a prideful mind will see fantasies, but a clear heart will see truth, whole, radiant, divine. This is why the mystery schools required initiates to purify their thoughts, emotions, and desires before teaching them the art of seeing, because vision without wisdom is just another form of blindness. So how do you awaken your clairvoyance? You begin by entering the still light, that space inside your forehead where thought quiets and light begins. Here is an ancient exercise once practiced in temples of initiation. Exercise the violet flame mirror. Find a quiet place, sit or lie down comfortably, close your eyes and breathe slowly, deeply. Visualize a small violet flame in the center of your forehead where the third eye lives. With every breath, feel this flame growing brighter, not hot, but luminous. Now ask a question, not from the mind, but from the soul, something real. Do not seek an answer. Wait. Images may come, feelings, symbols, let them arise, let them speak. When ready, open your eyes slowly. Write what you saw. Do this for 7 days. Watch the patterns. Watch the synchronicities. This is not fantasy. It is training. Each time you enter the violet flame, the veil thins, and the eye of vision opens a little more. And don't worry if you don't see anything at first. Clairvoyance speaks in many languages. Some feel it, some see symbols, some hear a whisper, some simply know. The method doesn't matter, the clarity does. Over time, you will begin to see auras, those radiant fields of energy surrounding all living things. You will see the emotional signature of people before they speak. You may begin to perceive beings from higher planes, guides, ancestors, soul fragments, appearing not as hallucinations, but as perception beyond the veil. And you'll realize you were never blind, you were simply distracted. Now you are returning to your natural state, a being of clear light, anchored in the body, yet connected to the cosmos. Clairvoyance is not the goal. It is a tool, a sacred eye for a sacred mission, to see with love, to witness truth, to recognize the divine behind all masks. So as you go through your day, begin to practice sacred seeing. Look beyond people's words. Sense the colors behind emotions. Listen with your forehead, not just your ears. And slowly, a new world will begin to reveal itself, one of energy, symbols, synchronicities, soul. You will no longer walk blind, you will walk illuminated. And with every step, you will become the thing you once sought. The Seer. Chapter 3, Intuition, the voice of the higher self. There's a voice inside you that doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it doesn't beg for attention, it simply knows. And when you follow it, doors open where walls once stood. This is intuition, not instinct, not analysis, not a lucky guess, but divine intelligence flowing through you like a river of gold beneath the noise. You felt it before, a strange certainty when making a decision, a nudge to leave just before something went wrong, a feeling about someone that later proved exactly right. You didn't know how you knew, you just did. That was not chance, that was not luck, that was the higher self speaking through the silence. Intuition is your soul's native language. It does not speak in sentences or logic. It speaks in symbols, sensations, and sudden insight. It moves faster than thought, deeper than reason, and purer than emotion. It is the direct whisper of the infinite within you. In Initiation by Elizabeth H., she describes how, in the temples of ancient Egypt, initiates were taught to still their minds, not to empty them, but to hear what lies beyond them, to distinguish between the chatter of the ego and the whisper of the eternal self. And that is what you must learn now. Because intuition is not something you develop, it is something you unblock. The modern world teaches you to distrust it, to favor logic, to calculate, to seek proof. But intuition does not beg for validation. It simply speaks and waits for you to listen. And when you do, your life begins to move in rhythm with something far more intelligent than your mind. Here is what you need to understand. Your intuition is not random, it is precise. It is connected to a field that sees beyond time and space. It already knows what's around the corner. It already senses the energetic consequences of every path. When your intuition speaks, it is getting you from the level of soul contracts, karmic alignments, and unseen truths. To ignore it is to walk blindfolded. To follow it is to walk in alignment with the intelligence that dreamed you into being. But there's a catch. Your ego is loud, your fear is sneaky, and your desires are deceptive. They will disguise themselves as intuition if you're not careful. So how do you know the difference? Here is the key. Intuition feels like peace, even when it warns you. Fear feels like panic, even when it flatters you. True intuition never pressures. It arrives gently, calmly, a knowing in your body, a resonance in your chest, a pull in your solar plexus. No drama, just truth. You don't argue with it, you either follow it, or you feel its absence later when things fall apart. But the more you listen, the stronger it becomes. It's like a muscle, use it and it sharpens, ignore it and it quiets, and when it sharpens, miracles begin. You move before the wave. You say yes before the opportunity arrives. You say no before danger takes form. You align automatically with paths that seem lucky to others. But you know better. This is not luck. This is living by inner guidance. Let's go deeper. In esoteric philosophy, the soul has layers: the physical, emotional, mental, and Buddhic. Intuition flows from the Buddhic plane, a realm of divine truth where separation disappears and all knowledge is interconnected. When you access this plane, you are no longer thinking, you are knowing. You are no longer choosing, you are recognizing. Intuition doesn't guess the future, it remembers it, because on higher planes, all potential futures already exist. The more you trust this power, the more you become a vessel for divine movement. You will begin to notice synchronicities stacking up like breadcrumbs from the invisible realm. You will begin to walk as if guided, because you are. So how do you strengthen this power? Through practice, through stillness, through surrender. Let us begin with a sacred training. Exercise the inner compass. Find a quiet moment, sit with your eyes closed, take a deep breath, let your body soften. Think of a small decision, something real but not overwhelming. For example, should I take this path today? Without analyzing, speak the question internally. Now focus on your solar plexus, your gut, feel, don't think. Does your body open or close? Do you feel expansion or contraction? Note the first sensation that arises, trust it, act on it, observe the outcome. Repeat this daily with bigger and bigger decisions. You're not just guessing, you're attuning, and the more you trust, the clearer it becomes. You will begin to feel when something is right, even before it makes sense. You will begin to walk away from paths that your ego loved, but your soul outgrew. You will no longer beg for signs, you will become one. Let this truth anchor deep. The higher self is never far. It is you, beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond confusion. And when you learn to listen to it, you no longer live life. You co-create it in sacred partnership with the infinite. So walk with stillness, decide with peace, and remember, the mind analyzes, but the soul knows. And now, with your inner compass awakened, you are ready to remember the next power, one that reveals you are not just thought, but a force strong enough to bend matter itself. Chapter 4, Telekinesis, the mind that moves matter. You've been told matter is solid, fixed, untouchable without physical force, but the ancient masters knew something different. They knew that matter is obedient to the mind. Telekinesis, the ability to move objects, bend outcomes, and influence the physical world using consciousness alone. To the rational mind, it sounds impossible. To the awakened soul, it's simply forgotten science. You see, what we call telekinesis is not some exotic anomaly. It is the natural result of a fundamental truth. All is mind, all is energy, all is vibration. This is the first principle of Hermeticism, echoed in every ancient school of initiation. You are not separate from the world around you, you are interwoven with it. And your thoughts, when focused with enough clarity and power, begin to shape what you once believed was immovable. Let's go deeper. What you call matter is not solid. It is a symphony of particles vibrating at certain frequencies. Modern quantum physics is just now confirming what mystics have known for millennia, that observation affects behavior, that consciousness alters form, that the universe responds to the mind that knows itself. In sacred texts, saints and sages performed what we now call miracles, walking on water, levitating, healing with a touch, manifesting food, rain, and protection out of thin air. They were not defying nature. They were working in harmony with a deeper layer of nature, a layer most have forgotten how to access. And the key to that access is will, focused will, purified intention, unshakable belief. Telekinesis is not about bending spoons to impress your friends. It is the art of influencing the quantum field through coherent vibrational command. And it begins with understanding this. The mind is a projector, the body is the antenna, and the heart is the amplifier. When all three are aligned, a thought becomes a force. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension so thick it was as if you could cut it? Have you ever felt someone's anger before they said a word, and even felt your body respond? That's telekinetic influence in action, subtle, untrained, unconscious, but still real. Now imagine what happens when that influence becomes intentional, when you direct your energy not in chaos, but with precision, when you speak not just with words, but with vibration. That's when the doors open. That's when objects move. That's when reality itself begins to bend around your frequency. In the yogic sciences, this power is called siddhi, and it is said to arise not from desire, but from stillness. The more silent the mind becomes, the more powerful its command, because in stillness, thought becomes pure, undistorted, laser-like. Here's a truth most overlook. Your mind is always affecting matter, but most of the time, it's doing so accidentally. Worry creates tension, anger fuels chaos, fear attracts the very outcomes you're trying to avoid. But when you become conscious of this flow, you step into mastery. Let's begin with an exercise used by initiates in ancient mystery schools. Exercise the flame of will. Sit in a quiet space, light a small candle, gaze at the flame, not to analyze but to merge. As you breathe, begin to imagine the flame responding to your will, not by force, not by strain, but by communion. See it flicker gently as you exhale. Imagine your energy field expanding, surrounding the flame. Begin to feel the flame as an extension of you, not separate, but part of your field. When ready, give the flame a subtle command: move right, grow taller. Do not expect, do not analyze, simply observe. Repeat this daily, not to control, but to connect. Over time, you may begin to see real movement, especially when your energy is calm, focused, and emotionally neutral. Why does this matter? Because telekinesis is not about dominating objects. It's about aligning your vibration with the structure of reality so your intention becomes part of nature's flow, not separate from it. The greatest adepts never forced reality. They became so internally ordered that the external world naturally followed their energetic blueprint. That is the essence of this power. Let's take it deeper. You may not be ready to levitate a stone or float a feather, but you are ready to influence your environment. Begin to experiment. Walk into a room and shift the energy with your presence alone. Place your hand over a glass of water and charge it with calm or gratitude. Then drink and observe your body. Focus your intent on calming a storm within yourself and watch how the outer world often mirrors that inner change. Telekinesis begins in subtle ways: a flicker, a chill, a vibration, a feeling that the air itself has changed because of your inner state. And as you trust these micro-movements, they grow because reality listens to those who believe in its responsiveness. But here's the most important part: you must purify your will. The ego wants power for control, the soul wants power for harmony. When your will is aligned with love, balance, and divine intelligence, your influence becomes healing, not invasive. The saints moved mountains not because they craved power, but because their vibration merged with source. The mountain obeyed. So do not chase spectacle, chase inner coherence, because the mind that moves matter is not the loudest, it is the most still. Let your thoughts become prayers. Let your will align with the greater good. Let your body become the silent conductor of forces unseen, and you will realize you were never stuck in this world. You are always shaping it with every thought, every breath, every frequency you emit. Now that you remember this, let's move to a deeper power, one that transcends space and time, one that allows you to see beyond the present moment and touch the probabilities of the future. Chapter 5: Precognition, the soul that sees across time. Have you ever felt something before it happened? A dream, a flash, a whisper in the body, a sudden certainty that someone was about to call or that something was going to unfold before it did? That wasn't chance. That wasn't imagination. That was precognition, the soul remembering what the mind hasn't yet reached. You see, time is not what you were told. It's not a straight line. It's not past behind you, present beneath you, and future up ahead. Time is a field, a living ocean of probabilities flowing all around you, and your soul knows how to swim in it. In the mystery traditions, the soul was never thought of as bound to the clock. It exists in dimensions above time, where every moment, past, present, and possible future coexists in one unified presence. Precognition is not seeing the future. It's tuning into a vibrational thread that already exists. You don't predict. It's more like you remember something that hasn't happened yet. The more attuned you become, the more these glimpses increase. You begin to live in what mystics called the eternal now, a moment so still, so vast, it contains all moments at once. But here's the secret most ignore. Precognition doesn't come through force. It comes through receptivity. It arises in the quiet. When the soul has space to whisper, many people dismiss these whispers because they don't fit into logic. But logic is built from the past, and precognition is the voice of the unfolding future. You've had this voice within you all along, that moment when you chose to cancel plans and narrowly missed a disaster, that time you met someone and felt an instant warning only to be proven right, that dream that seemed odd until it played out in real life days later. You didn't figure it out, your subtle body was listening beyond the veil. So what exactly is happening? Let's go deeper. In the esoteric traditions, particularly in Theosophy and Hermeticism, there is said to be a causal plane, a higher energetic layer where all actions, intentions, and vibrational currents are stored as imprints. These imprints are like grooves in the field of time, and your soul, especially when quiet and open, can read these grooves, like reading Braille in the dark. Precognition is not fate, it's awareness of trajectory. It doesn't mean the future is fixed. It means your soul is sensing what is most likely to occur based on current energy, and once you're aware, you can change that trajectory. This is one of the great secrets. Seeing the future is not about submitting to it, it's about gaining the power to redirect it. If you sense danger, you can alter your path. If you sense opportunity, you can meet it early. If you feel that a timeline isn't aligned with your soul, you can begin a new one. You are not just a dreamer of the future, you are a weaver of timelines. Now let's activate this power. There is a sacred doorway where precognition flows most freely, the dream state. When you sleep, the ego sleeps too. The mind loosens its grip, and the soul begins its nightly travels, exploring symbols, messages, possibilities. The ancients knew this. The Egyptians studied dreams as divine portals. The Greeks built dream temples where healing and visions were received. The Essenes, the Tibetans, and the shamans all taught that dreams are not illusions, they are intelligent. You've had prophetic dreams before, you just didn't label them as such. Now is the time to reclaim them. Exercise the dream mirror ritual. Before bed, sit quietly with a journal. Place your hand over your heart and say softly, "Tonight, I open myself to receive true vision. I ask to remember what my soul already knows." As you sleep, keep your body relaxed. Upon waking, write immediately, even fragments. Look for patterns, symbols, and emotions that feel louder than the dream itself. After several nights, you'll begin to notice echoes in your waking life. You are not waiting for the future. You are remembering the frequencies you already walked through in another layer of time. And precognition can also happen while awake if you are present enough. Moments of stillness, meditation, deep emotion. During these states, the veil thins. You may see flashes, hear internal phrases. Since timelines are moving even before your body moves, here's how you begin to trust them. Don't wait for confirmation. Act on alignment. Don't dismiss the small insights. They are the precursors. When something feels real beyond reason, it often is. But with this gift comes responsibility. Because if you can see into the currents of time, you must learn to walk with humility, not to manipulate, but to serve, not to fear, but to harmonize. The greatest prophets were not trying to be special, they were trying to stay aligned. Let that be your path. Don't seek power for the sake of control. Let your vision become a bridge between the present and what is possible. And remember, what you see is always changing. You are not fixed. Your future is not fixed. But if you listen closely, the soul will show you the way to your highest unfolding. You are not just a body walking forward in time, you are a consciousness reaching through time, sculpting destiny with presence. And now that you see this, you're ready to activate another power, one that reveals just how much your hands, your breath, and your intention can heal the world around you. Chapter 6, Energy Healing, Channeling the Vital Force. You are a healer not because you went to school for it, not because you hold a title, but because your very being was designed to conduct life force. The only question is, have you remembered how? There is an energy that flows through everything. The ancients called it prana, kai, ruach, spiritus, baraka, and odic force. It is the breath behind breath, the pulse behind heartbeat, the invisible thread that ties soul to body. And when this energy flows freely, there is vitality. When it stagnates, there is illness. But here's what modern science still struggles to understand. Your body isn't just receiving this life force, it's transmitting it. You are a conduit, a living bridge between the cosmic current and the physical plane. And with intention, purity, and presence, you can direct this energy to heal yourself and others. Energy healing is not fantasy, it is ancient technology. Mystics and healers from every culture knew this. The laying on of hands in early Christianity, the Reiki channels of Japan, the Shung masters of China, the pranic healers of India, the curanderos, shamans, and medicine women who healed with touch, breath, chant, and love. They all tapped into the same stream, the universal life force that flows through all things. And so can you. Right now, your hands carry voltage. Your heart emits a measurable electromagnetic field. Your intention shapes how energy flows through the cells of your body. You don't need tools, you are the tool. But this power requires something sacred, alignment, because energy follows intention, and intention follows vibration. If you are scattered, fearful, or clouded with ego, the energy you transmit will be just as distorted. But when you are still, when your heart is open and your ego silent, you become a vessel for divine flow. Healing happens not from you, but through you. Let's make something clear. You are not the source. You are the bridge. The healer is not the hero. The healer is the hollow bone, the open flute, the sacred current. When you align your body, mind, and soul with the source, miracles become the new normal. Illness melts. Emotional wounds dissolve. Blocked energy begins to move again. And it's not because you did something, it's because you got out of the way. So how do you begin? Let's activate your inner healer. Exercise, hands of light. Take a seat calmly with your palms facing up. Softly place your hands on your lap. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Feel your body soften. Visualize a radiant light descending from above your head, a warm golden white current. See it entering through your crown, flowing down your spine, through your arms, and into your hands. Let your hands begin to tingle, vibrate, or warm. Now gently place your hands over your heart or on any part of your body that needs support. Don't try to fix, just be present. Let the energy do the work. Feel gratitude not to yourself, but to the divine force that flows through you. Remain here for 5 to 10 minutes. Then breathe deeply, open your eyes, and rest. This simple practice awakens the healing current. Over time, you'll notice it growing stronger. You may begin to feel other people's pain as if it were your own. You may feel drawn to place your hands on others, to breathe with them, to transfer calm with just your gaze. You are not imagining it, you are remembering what your body has always known. Your palms are portals. Your breath is a transmitter. Your presence is a frequency that influences all it touches. But always remember, the true healer is not you. The true healer is the intelligence behind the energy, the source, the infinite, the divine. You are simply a bridge, so walk humbly, heal with reverence, and let love, not ego, be your guide. Now let's go deeper. All illness is disease, a disruption in harmony, a misalignment between body, mind, and spirit. The role of the energy healer is not to fight illness, but to restore harmony, to realign the client or yourself with the blueprint of wellness that already exists in the higher planes. You don't have to force healing, you call it back. And the way to call it is through coherence. When your heart is coherent, calm, loving, and grateful, you emit waves that entrain others. Your field becomes an invitation, a tuning fork for balance. This is why the most powerful healers are not always the most trained, but the most present, the most surrendered, the most loving. Their energy speaks what words cannot. You are safe now, you are seen, you are whole. So let me say that to you again, you are safe, you are seen, you are whole, and you are ready to remember this healing power within you. It's not something you will one day earn, it's something you were born with because you are a soul in a human instrument. And this body, this heart, this breath. We're always meant to serve something sacred. The next time someone you love is in pain, don't just say words. Place your hand on their shoulder. Breathe, feel the current flow, say nothing, let the silence carry it. You'll feel it move and they will feel it too, because healing is not about fixing, it's about transmitting a memory, a remembrance of wholeness already present beneath the wound. And now that you've felt the current, you're ready for the final initiation, a powerful, ancient, and feared journey that transcends the body itself and lifts the soul into other realms. This is where your consciousness truly learns to fly. Chapter 7: Astral Projection, the Journey Beyond the Body. You are not your body. This isn't just a spiritual idea, it's a literal truth. Your body is a sacred vehicle, a temple for your experience, but it is not the limit of your being. You are consciousness, you are a soul, you are a spirit wrapped in light, and you were never meant to be confined. You've known this for a long time, that sense of floating just before sleep, that sudden jolt as if you were falling back into yourself. That dream was so vivid, so real, that it felt like you had traveled somewhere, because you did. This isn't fiction, it's astral projection, and it is the final hidden power you must now remember. For thousands of years, mystics, sages, and initiates have described this ability. The capacity to consciously leave the physical body and explore the invisible realms, to soar beyond time and space, to visit other planes of existence, to meet guides, soul companions, even your own higher self. In Egypt, it was called the bar leaving the car. In India, the cities of yogic flight. In Theosophy, etheric projection. In indigenous wisdom, soul walking, dreamtime travel, or shamanic flight. And in all traditions, it was treated not as a trick, but as a holy initiation. Because once you experience life beyond the body, you can never again believe the lie that this material world is all there is. So what is astral projection truly? It is the shift of consciousness into the astral body, a subtle energy form that overlays your physical one. This body is luminous, light-based, and not bound by physical laws. It travels through the astral plane, a world of thought, symbol, energy, and vibration. This plane is very real. In fact, you visit it every single night when you sleep. Yes, every night your consciousness detaches from the body and moves through various layers of subtle reality. You just don't remember because you haven't trained yourself to stay conscious during the transition, but now you will. Let's begin with the truth of the mechanism. When you sleep or enter deep meditation, the physical body slows, the etheric body softens, and the astral body begins to rise. You may feel this as a buzzing sensation, vibrations, a sense of heaviness or lightness, or even the sound of ringing in your ears. In that moment, if you remain calm, aware, and open, you can slip through the veil. At first, you may find yourself floating above your body, seeing it from the outside. This is not a dream. You are fully conscious but free, able to move without effort, able to will yourself to any place, time, or realm. With practice, you will gain control. You'll be able to travel to the lower astral realms, where unhealed energies and fragmented thoughts dwell, only enter when grounded. The middle realms, where you can meet other travelers, learn lessons, and receive insights. The higher realms, filled with light, sacred geometry, libraries of knowledge, and divine intelligences. This is not fantasy, it is spiritual science, and with it comes great power and great responsibility. Because when you travel beyond the body, you are accessing dimensions that respond instantly to thought and vibration. Whatever you carry within you, fear, love, curiosity, ego, becomes amplified, so preparation is everything. Astral projection is not about escape, it's about exploration with sacred intent. Now let me guide you through the foundational process. Exercise, the gateway of flight. Before sleep, dim the lights and lie flat on your back. Breathe deeply, release all tension in the body. Begin to visualize your body filling with light, especially at the crown of your head and heart center. Repeat silently, I remain conscious as I move between realms. Allow your body to enter sleep, but keep your mind gently awake. You may feel vibrations, floating, or heaviness. Stay calm. This is the separation phase. When the sensation deepens, imagine rolling out of your body like a second layer peeling off. Do not force, gently will yourself to float. If successful, look at your hands. They may appear fluid, translucent, and glowing. Set an intention, take me where I need to go. then trust the pull. You may awaken moments later, or you may return carrying vivid, powerful memories. Either way, you are opening the doorway. With time, this process becomes easier. The more you trust, the more vivid and profound your journeys will become. You may meet guides, enter halls of learning, revisit past lives, or assist others on subtle levels, but always protect yourself energetically. Call in light. Surround yourself with sacred symbols. Keep your heart aligned. You are not merely playing with visions, you are crossing thresholds of consciousness. And now that you know how to leave the body, you must ask yourself, why do you want to travel beyond? Not for entertainment, not to prove anything, but to remember the truth of your infinite self. Astral projection is a tool, a gift, a mirror. It reveals what you are beyond illusion. It teaches you that death is not the end, that form is fluid, and that you are far more than flesh and name. When you return, you walk through this world lighter, calmer, wiser, with less fear, less attachment, and more compassion. Once you have touched the stars with your soul, the noise of the world begins to fade. So now, dear traveler, you have awakened all 7 powers. You have remembered what your mind can do, what your heart can sense, what your spirit can become. And this is only the beginning. Closing, the return of the remembering ones. Here you are no longer just listening, but remembering. You've crossed the threshold. You've traveled through 7 ancient gates, unlocking pieces of yourself you once thought were lost. But the truth is, they were never gone, only buried beneath layers of distraction, fear, conditioning, and amnesia. Now the veil is thinner. Now the current flows stronger. Now you know that you are more than what the world told you. Behind your eyes lives a force that can communicate without words, perceive what others cannot see, know what logic cannot explain, move energy with will, remember the future, heal with presence, soar beyond the body. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a carrier of knowledge, of light, of a lineage older than time. And yet this is not the end, it is the return. You have not been given these gifts to rise above others. You have remembered them to help others rise. These powers are not about escape, they are about embodiment, becoming fully human, fully divine, fully awake in every breath. The world does not need more noise, it needs vibrational presence, souls who remember, souls who radiate, souls who walk in silence but speak with frequency. Here is your task, not from me, but from your own soul. Use these powers to heal, uplift, and liberate. When someone speaks in pain, hear the thought beneath their words. When you walk into a room, let your presence shift the vibration. When you dream, listen for messages from your higher self. When you sit in stillness, allow your intuition to chart your course. When you hold a loved one, let your hands transmit peace. And when the world tries to convince you that you are small, smile, because now you know you are infinite in disguise. You came here at this time in history for a reason, to awaken when others forget, to embody what others doubt, to become the bridge between the visible and the invisible, between heaven and earth, between what is and what can be. Let this final truth ring in your being. You are the ritual. You are the healing. You are the prophecy. You are the revelation. The hidden powers of the human being were never meant to remain hidden. They were waiting for someone like you to remember them and walk among the sleeping world as one who is awake. You are not alone. Others are waking too. And when enough of us rise, the very structure of reality will shift. We are the rememberers, the ones who feel energy in a handshake, who hear the silence between words, who dream wide awake, who carry ancient keys in modern hearts. You have remembered, now live as if you never forgot. This is the end of the words, but the beginning of activation. Go and let the powers awaken in every cell, every step, every breath. The world is ready. The question is, are you?